Start recording. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Simply Sketchy. And today I've managed to finally find my good friend Bleach to do another episode here. Once more, going back to the scary and dark corners of cryptid or what, mythological America?
Yeah, well, this is one of the more famous 20th century stories of, actually, the mid-Atlantic, in this case, Virginia. So, yeah, we'll get into maybe one of my least favorite cryptid, the whole, yeah, vampire thing. But,
Eh.
this
It's
is one
that.
of the more interesting stories.
Yeah, I do like vampires myself, but unfortunately they have been given a bit of a bad rep as of late because of certain modern, shall we say, quote unquote, writers, if we're gonna be nice.
No, we're not going to be nice.
Oh,
Hacks. Hacks.
thank
They're
you.
called hacks, Trim.
Yes, hacks. Ugh. I prefer myths above whatever bastardization happens nowadays. Anyway, so, vampires, eh? Anyone in particular, maybe?
Yes, so we'll be looking into the what is referred to as the Richmond vampire or the Hollywood vampire, and the mausoleum that it's associated with, which is of W.W. Poole, also known as William Wortham Poole, who was a bookkeeper for, I want to say, a tobacco company. Yeah, he was one of the famous Richmond, Virginia tobacco companies.
Really?
Yeah.
Already he sounds pretty potentially evil to me, so, let's keep going with this one, eh?
Maybe. So, yeah. So, just kind of a little bit of background on Mr. Poole himself, and then we'll get into the start of the Richmond vampire, just to kind of stack up kind of the mausoleum here. And this is actually one of the most famous mausoleums in Hollywood Cemetery.
Right.
So, W.W. Poole was born in Mississippi, and like 1840s, and most of his life he was a clerk, just a basically bookkeeper, clerk for mostly tobacco companies when he came to Virginia, probably a few other companies in between. But in the 1860s, and again, this is when you get like these really ambiguous dates for people like this. So yeah, he moved to Virginia. I don't know if he served in the Civil War or not, but he moved to Virginia in the 1860s. And again, bookkeeper. So at that time, being a bookkeeper not only meant you were literate, but also you're pretty good with math. And now we've got QuickBooks and all this other junk to fill its place, but that was kind of like a very lucrative business for someone to be in at the time. And so he got married, had 4 kids with his wife, and I know his wife's name is Alice Purdue, her maiden name, but beyond that, I really don't know much more about her beyond that. And she died in 1913, and that's where the mausoleum comes from. It was to honor his wife.
Right. Question:
And
Does this is this gentleman often depicted in his life? Is he often depicted with like a mustache or a beard?
I've never seen a photograph of William Wortham Poole. I've never seen a photograph of him. And I'll take a quick spin around in the background. But so kind of an unremarkable man in a lot of ways.
Yes.
Somebody who probably kind of, middle class of the time. Nothing spectacular, but somebody had made obviously enough money to build this really fantastic mausoleum.
Mm-hmm.
And it was considered kind of like elaborate for the day, even. We're talking 1913 when it was built.
I mean, it looks pretty decent in my opinion.
Yeah, I've visited it. It's for being over 100 years old, it's still really cool. I'm also glad that they work to keep vandals out. So
Vandals is a common issue.
It's Hollywood part of Richmond, which is not exactly known for its upstanding citizenry.
Of course. I
Yeah.
mean, why? What else?
So, kind of to finish up the known history of Mr. Poole. So he died in 1922, so 9 years after his wife died, and then he was interred there. So that's kind of that's what I know of Mr. Poole. And underneath Hollywood Cemetery is what was called the Churchill Tunnel. And I'm trying to remember which gosh, give me a second here. Because there was, I want to say became Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad. And so you have the Churchill Tunnel, which kind of runs underneath that general area. I cannot for the life of me remember the exact routing, but again, it's all geographically like within 2 miles of each other, and Hollywood Cemetery is huge. It's I wish I could figure out the acreage. Oh, here we go. 135 acres for a cemetery. It's massive.
What is that in like non-American units?
In French, it's like 546,000 square meters.
Oh damn!
Yeah, it's a big cemetery. It's actually, yeah, considered one of the bigger cemeteries in this neck of the woods. So yeah, so we've got, that's the setup of Mr. Poole. And then you have Churchill Tunnel. And Churchill Tunnel was started in the 1870s, so post-Civil War. And Churchill is the name of a district within Richmond.
All right.
Yeah, so suburbs before they became suburbs, kind of a thing. And that tunnel is 4,000 feet, or 1,100 meters or something like that.
It's not small.
No, it's again, it's one of these, we've got a lot of tunnels in that part, like everywhere else. It's like, oh well, we have to have the railroad, but we can't have like the nice, parts of town, quote unquote, being exposed to trains, don't you know?
Not in my backyard, classic. Eh?
Exactly. So this particular tunnel, the Churchill Tunnel, it is Chesapeake and Ohio, or C&O. I'll use those interchangeably just because it's now CSX, but I don't believe any of that new naming convention. Screw that.
New names suck. They're stupid anyway.
Exactly. So, built this, and unfortunately, it had a habit of flooding.
Right.
Just given the geography, it's Shako Bottom, which is spelled really dumbly. I'll include that for Bezic, the spelling here.
He does enjoy spellings.
He does, and this will drive him nuts because it's not spelled any kind of sensical way whatsoever.
Well, that's gonna be fun. At least he'll be angry at you for once.
Oh, no. Like, he's going to be angry at the people who spelled this initially.
Fair. We're both safe.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got Churchill Tunnel, and because of the leaks, and there were like sinkholes and just it was basically the poor man's. We're desperate to build this, even though we're the more important railroad around here. And then beside it, or not beside it, but in a very similar area, what was called the Richmond and Allegheny Railroad. And they'd built another tunnel that didn't have any of these problems. So 1890s, I think, they got rid, they sold, let's see, the RNA got sold out to the C&O, and that way they could avoid going through this flooding tunnel all the time. So that's from 1870s to 1890s. And then you get a little past that into the 1920s, specifically 1925.
Of course.
And they're realizing that they have this capacity issue. So what do? Okay, well, why not reopen the Churchill Tunnel? So they start working on the Churchill Tunnel. Roughly, it was 1925, but they started talking about it in 1900, I think. And simply because C&O, you had the C&O, Southern Railroad, used to be called Virginian, and then you had Norfolk and Western, now Norfolk Southern. Big rail hub in that area. Because you get to Richmond, that's the capital of Virginia. You get to the coal fields out in the west. You get to the shipyards in the further east. So it's a very big hub for railroads. And yes, we'll get back to the vampire. This is all build up to kind of give everybody a bit of history. So in 1925, they started work to rehabilitate the Churchill Tunnel. And big construction, it's been dangerous in the past, but modern technology, right? So that's where everybody was wrong. So on Friday, October 2nd, 1925, there was a massive cave-in at Churchill Tunnel. Massive. And
the opposite of good, unfortunately. That can't be good on the project.
No. And when it collapsed, there was a figure, and I'm gonna see if I can get the description up that is correct, because it is a nice, rather lurid version of this creature, and let's see. A second.
Let's hope he's somewhat similar to what I'm currently drawing, because I'm drawing him like sort of a dapper gentleman of the era. Let's see how wrong Trim is.
Oh, I'm sure you'll be horribly wrong.
Not my first time, but hey. One day I'll be right. One day.
So, all right, here's this was quoted from a Mr. David Castleton. Respect where it's due. A work train and around 200 workmen were in the tunnels, 160 some yards from the western end. Their job was to clear dirt by loading it into the train's flat cars. Crew labored away. A brick fell from the tunnel ceiling, slamming into one of the train's 10 wagons. Workmen knew it was an ominous signal, and sure enough, more bricks crashed down. And there's a guy quoted, Benjamin Mosby, "Watch out, Tom, she's a-coming." And he was the engineer. So they got the train out. And while the workmen were evacuating, because they actually had to, according to the stories, they had to get underneath portions of the train in order to start crawling out.
Ooh.
Because the train didn't get all the way out of the tunnel. They had to crawl underneath this train with these, I think I said 10 cars.
Yeah, that might be a bit stressful, I can imagine.
Yeah. And then this is how, So a lot of the guys got out, they were battered, injured, smeared with blood. And then this is the quote from Mr. Castleton. "A creature staggered into view, spattered with gore and streaked with blood. This entity seemed partially decomposed, with rolls of skin hanging from its naked, muscular torso and swollen arms. Fresh blood smeared on the creature's cheeks, neck, and mouth, a mouth which hung open to reveal jagged, fang-like teeth. Unlike the terrified men around it, the creature showed no indication of shock or concern. Accounts claim that the ghoul dashed to the direction of nearby Hollywood Cemetery. It was chased and fled into the mausoleum of W.W. Poole."
Sounds as much as
Yes.
the word ghoulish is used pretty well there, because that sounds as much as the proper term for a ghoul than as much as a vampire. Holy crap!
Yeah. It's just this amazingly vivid, lurid even, description of this thing. And it's like, okay, what's what could this have just been a workman? Or was this something else? Because it's in that, like, you could see it either way. But
Yeah.
let's kind of tease it out towards this was the Richmond vampire. So
I mean, if he's literally having pieces sloughing off him, he's partially decomposed and covered in gore. It's not something that a mine worker or a person of that kind of job would be able to work properly with.
yeah, it's like it's such a like, interesting description. I mean, it's not something where you're just gonna be like, oh well, it's X or Y. Like, no, this is a description. Cause I could see if it just mentioned, like, the jagged teeth. Okay, well, that's somebody who just got the absolute crap beat out of them with some bricks and is crawled out to safety. But then why run to Hollywood Cemetery? And that's roughly 2 miles away.
Yeah, Wouldn't be, and with those kind of damages, you wouldn't be able to run that far. I don't care. I don't care what adrenaline does, but again, with pieces slothing off, being able to keep a high-speed sprint isn't really that easy. I assume.
Yeah. Yeah. And because there have been some people, and this gets back to the fireman, Mr. Mosby. Some people have said that that was him, and because he was scalded, and scalding does horrible things to the human body. But they found him, and they took him and buried him later.
Right.
So it's like, wait a minute, what's this? Yeah.
So the dude got scalded, he went for a sprint, then went back, and then died.
Yeah, that's basically what how it comes across. And I'm just like, wait a minute.
It makes the vampire sound more reasonable to be a real thing.
I know. It's something where it's like, wait a minute, really? And the other thing you have to know about Hollywood Cemetery is this is not like you're running across flat ground. No. There's some hills you have to go up and things like that. It's not just a simple you go here, you go up incline, that's it. And it's like no, this is all very, very rough terrain for someone who has basically been crushed under under a tunnel collapse.
Yeah, it's among other things, I'd say. I can suspend my disbelief for a lot of things, but that kind of takes the cake.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, adrenaline does make you do wild and crazy things, but this is a little bit beyond that, at least in my opinion.
I'm not gonna dispute that one at all.
The question becomes, is it a vampire? Is it some other ghoulish thing? That I don't know. All I do know is whatever this was that happened is a bit more complex than just, hey, Bob over there got scalded to death. Something happened there, It's like, and maybe it's human nature to fabricate these stories to make it okay to deal with these things, but I've never really seen anything where it's like, this makes, this is definitely going to be Mosby. And like, no, I don't think so.
I mean, if we're gonna take the stance that the more supernatural things are real, then having a ghoul running wild, that isn't as unlikely as other things we've talked about in this channel.
Exactly. And the other thing, and I've seen this kind of made commentaries made now, and it's kind of like, hey, there were all these other workers left buried because they were black, and it's like, well, that might be true, but that doesn't negate that you see this thing, this creature of sorts, and it's chased by people, and it's like, sorry, if you've got other workers there, you're not going to go chase something off. You're not going to chase something for 2 miles. And it just be like, Bob that got crushed under the cave in. I can't imagine that being the case.
The old world racial disputes aside, there are limits to how bad it can be, in my opinion. And I don't think you would leave a bunch of people trapped in there regardless of the skin color, if they're like workers.
Yeah, because it's a very modern thing to be like, oh well, yeah, they would have just ignored them, because it's like, no, these are people that you would have worked with day in, day out. This is something where, yeah, there might be some, you're not going to invite them over for dinner kind of thing, but you're still going to look out after your coworker. That's just human nature.
You won't just leave them into a freaking cave to be buried alive and crushed to death.
Exactly. And yeah, so it's a lot of the skeptics, the unnecessary skeptics, I'd like to call them, people that just want to say it's not something because it's something, because it could be supernatural. But it's like,
Scared to
it's
think
like,
that it might be more between the skies and earthing.
Exactly, because it's easy to be like, oh yeah, it's got to be this Mosby guy, because firemen on engines were big and burly, and like, oh yeah, he was disoriented, he ran away, and then he hid in a crypt. I'm sorry, but even if you're delirious, and that sort of thing happens to you, are you going to like be running off just to go off into a cemetery of all places if you're wounded and injured?
Well, dude, haven't you? Well, last time you smacked your finger, didn't you just suddenly get the urge to take a 200-meter dash out of nowhere?
No.
Oh, just me?
Oh, sorry, I maybe I'm built different. I don't know.
Maybe you could be that ultra Chad tough guy who really can just handle any kind of punishment.
You mean where I'm yelping in pain because I've crippled my hand and my index finger is swelling up?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to go sprint to the nearest cemetery.
Yeah. I mean, it's only reasonable after all.
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess I was just wrong.
Maybe. Ah, yes, the manly urge to run to the nearest cemetery when you've inflicted bodily harm upon yourself. And miss it.
Yeah. Come on, who doesn't just go there instead of the complete opposite direction, to the hospital? Yeah, where Mosby actually went.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's see. I am going to start messing around a little bit with things here.
Of course you are.
Yes. It's what I do. Let's see. Yeah, continue. Please continue.
So actually, I'm gonna see if I can find an image of the old CNO switch car, because it's a known engine. Yeah, there's actually a picture of, it's a Baldwin Works. Is it 030? 130 engine. There's actually a image of the train, well, the engine of it, and yeah, it's nice classic American design. It's a 440 style, and it was not even 20 years old when this tragedy happened.
It's a bit of a beast. And they had to climb under that thing, huh?
Yeah. I mean, there's pretty good gap underneath the rail cars and the track, but still, that's
Then with the whole tunnel roof falling down on someone, it kind of makes it a little bit less spacious.
Significantly less. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen a
And
few. I've seen a few
supposedly,
cave-ins here and there, so I can guarantee they tend to get a little bit crammed.
and supposedly that engine has been left in the tunnel.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just kind of, again, these little tidbits are still out there if you want to track them down, and that's one of the things I always find interesting when there's this rush to dismiss things,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, yeah, so you've got 231 still in there. It's been documented. What, 2013, I think. Somebody went in there and tried to, do a little bit of archaeological stuff, because one end is sealed with a concrete barrier, and the other side is not. And yeah, it's just like, you gotta wonder what is going on still in regards to all of this lore, because it's a big deal. There's even historical markers about it, so naturally there are legends and lore to spawn off of this. And but it's like, what's the truth? And of course the skeptics always, it has to be this very mundane, very blatantly obvious, nothing mythological, nothing interesting. It just has to be the most boring, absolute trash explanation that you can come up with.
To me, this kind of thing sounds more like a desperate cope, because they're deathly afraid of something being there. It is usually people most scared of the supernatural that fights it the hardest.
And that to me, it's like, that's why I like to be open to these sorts of things, because you'd rather it be not real, and then I don't have to worry about it if I think it's real. It's like, if I give it a little bit of deference. But if it's real and I go around with blinders on, setting myself up for failure.
Yep.
So yeah, it's also interesting. So I sent you a couple pictures of the sign, the location. Chimborazo Museum is there, which is, I think that was a Civil War hospital. So yeah, just lots of fascinating stuff to do with this tunnel collapse. And when you think about it, okay, so you've got this tunnel, this problematic tunnel. It collapses, there's people buried, but they see this one figure run out. And it goes to a very specific place, not the hospital that was up on, I think the nearest one was West Broad, and that's where they took Mosby to die.
Right.
And yeah, it's like, that's an odd choice of direction to run. And I want to make sure.
Yeah, he could, but here's the thing, though. He could be a very, very considerate person, knowing that he's about to die. He just ran to the, cemetery, so I don't have to worry about burying him.
That's fair. That's fair. And and they did him dirty by carrying him out and making him go someplace else.
Yeah, it's like, oh, dude, I made all this effort. You know, I took myself to the graveyard. I found this really nice mausoleum. Come on. All the way, he just like complaining as he dies. And I'm like, come on, let me die here. It's a nice place. Gabagoo.
Really, they don't sound like they've had severe brain injuries with Richmond accents. Just say.
I don't know the Richmond accent, so would you indulge some curiosity in that?
Oh, it's a little bit soft like this,
Ah.
at least at that time. Not full Southern, but it definitely has a softness to it.
Southern accents do sound a lot more elegant than literally anything today.
You have to have. So you've got like the deep South Southern Belle accent, which grates on me no end. Uh, but you get variations on a lot of Southern accents. You've got kind of a coastal. You've got the Piedmont accents. You've got Upper South, Lower South, Middle South. You've got the Appalachian accents or Appalachian accents, depends on which part you're in. And then you get the mountain mumble. It's all over the place, you know?
Mountain mumble, that's a new one.
Oh yeah, I cannot even reproduce it. It is such a unique accent that I just can't do it. I can't. I've heard it for years. I just cannot reproduce that particular accent. I think it's because being Midwestern, there are certain sounds that I just cannot reproduce.
Well, there are some Norwegian sounds you can't do. What's the original ethnicities of the people in that region?
Mostly English.
Mostly English, huh?
Yeah, in Richmond it was mostly English. And you'd get some, Scots and Irish moving in. The other large ethnicity in that region would actually be French.
Oh, so Scots, Irish, English, and French intermingling. I think yeah, okay.
Yeah. Because there's a place called Mannequin, which was once originally called Mannequin Town, which was a.
I guess they were famous for making scary mannequins.
No. It was a tribe. They were part of the Potomacs, I think, and Mannequin, and then there's the town of Cibot, also known as Sabot now, and that was actually a heavy French community. The Huguenots, when they came over in the 1600s, like 1680s, I think, they got pushed all the way out there. As I know that because that's my people. So yeah, it's like, so yeah, there's like this whole Huguenot community, the remnants of it, and it's all but dead now. Other than, hey, a Huguenot, it's like, no, you're not. You don't even know what that means. You don't even try to speak French. What the, But yeah, so you've got this kind of like old, because Richmond was a major trade location in colonial times, because you'd go up the James River, what are called the Falls of the James, which is a fault line, and that separates Tidewater, Virginia, from the Piedmont of Virginia. And it's same in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Richmond grew up as a gigantic trade center, and then later capital when it moved from Jamestown inland and I can't even remember when that was. It was like 1700s. Can't remember if that was pre or post revolution, but yeah. But it's all that to say, Richmond at that time, really up and through Poole's life, and actually I would say up until the 1930s, was a massive industrial hub, and
So
important because
it earned the name Richmond, huh?
um, it was stolen from England, so
Hmm.
I'd go that far as.
Well, everything
But
into America has most likely has a name somewhere else. It's just less good.
I don't know. I mean, there's Tuckahoe, Chaco. Those are all Indian names. If I think Powhatan tribe specifically.
I was talking about sort of things like, oh wait, nah, I was gonna reference New York, and we all know that York is better.
Fuck New York. Which actually, that's a complete aside from the Richmond vampire here. But the one of the most, I guess, economically important cities in the United States was Charleston, South Carolina.
Really?
It was like one of the big trade hubs because of the rice and indigo and all these major trade goods that were coming out of the deep south, going through that port, and then because what it would do is go up to from Charleston to New York or Boston, and then on to England. Yeah. So, and Richmond was kind of the same way. It was this big hub, and then you'd go down to what's called Norfolk, and that's where a lot of it grew up. It was not very important until much later, um, and yeah, that's I find colonial American history fascinating, and I'm meandering through all this to figure out if there's an older story that is related to the Richmond vampire from those coastal communities. And I'm drawing a blank because the Richmond vampire is very unique because it's got witnesses, it's got a lot of documentation, and it's got a lot of speculation because there's this, oh well, we're just gonna say it was Ben Mosby. Yeah, Ben Mosby went the wrong direction to get to Hollywood Cemetery versus the hospital that he died in. Because I don't know. I'm going to have to look at a map.
Interesting run is what I'm saying. If he, from an injured condition, sprinted to the cemetery, only to then be dragged to the hospital when he's already, well, my guess is he would be dead by then, depending on how badly he'd be scalded. But if it was that as bad as the description of the vampire is, unless the guy who saw him was hit by some kind of panic, so the damage was far worse. But it's still the whole length of the run itself,
It's to get that far, it's roughly an hour of walking. So maybe make that 45 minutes of running to Hollywood Cemetery. And I do have to correct myself because I was confusing Oakwood Cemetery for Hollywood. And so the hospital, regardless, is both kind of to the north and west of where the tunnel was. And Oakwood is to the north and east, and I thought it was Oakwood Cemetery that he went to, but still, where the old hospital was on West Broad, that's still one heck of a hike to, and kind of in the wrong direction too.
Yeah.
This tunnel, Churchill Tunnel is almost on the James River, and Hollywood is also on the James River, and the hospital is inland by about a mile. So
1.6 kilometers.
Uh-huh.
Oh boy. I mean, a mile is 1.6 kilometers. Last I checked. Curse French units, I swear.
This is why I don't indulge in these Frenchified units. Just no, thank you. I'm going to be very happy sticking with a system that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm sticking whatever what I had to learn when I was a kid.
You just weren't very flexible as a child, now were you, in your thinking?
Well, I wasn't flexible in a lot of ways, so it is only fitting.
Yeah, fair enough.
Let's see.
You're definitely looking in the Nosferatu category there, sir.
Yep, because, well, it was, we decided to go with the Nosferatu first, as sort of a just homage to vampire designs, what you prefer to be vampires, and honestly, the description you gave me was less of a vampire, more what I consider to be like a ghoul.
Fair. Maybe if you'd let me preview it to you a little more, you would have gone with a ghoul, but,
Oh. I told you to give me the description you wanted without too many spoilers, but,
No, I'm sticking with the way I did it.
I'm okay with that. Hey, at least we got a dapper Nosferatu out of it. Gentlemen.
Exactly.
Oh, hey, sir, you look rather good for being boiled alive and then crushed to death. How you doing, sir? I was feeling a bit peckish.
Yes.
I don't do that.
Collapse a train tunnel,
Yeah, it's a nice way to start a conversation with someone you're about to eat.
Indeed.
Heavy rain today, eh? Munches. Just the soon victim to be just looks at you confused, scared. It's like, what? And then just
Excuse me, what?
Excuse me, what are you talking about? Ah! Screams in panic as he gets munched on.
I mean, hey, vampires get the munchies too, man.
Yeah. Hey, imagine if they had a little bit of a crackhead before lunch, or a college
I'd rather
student.
not. I mean, what's the difference between a college student and a crackhead? I'm not sure I know the difference.
Okay, if we let's see, New York. In New York, there's no difference, but Texan, maybe.
I don't want to sully Texas's name.
Well, there's been a bit of Californian immigration there, so it's at least the city colleges, I guess, have a little bit of a pot problem.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Sorry, I'm just imagining a freaking vampire just taking a bite out of a college student, and then he gets eyes like, oh, this is different.
Can you imagine Nosferatu getting a contact high from a hemp funnel?
Oh, dude. Goes around just tweaking all the way. Looking for another guy. I was like, dude, what the hell is happening?
The vampiric tweakers, man.
Yeah. Vampires had one hell of a time during the 60s because they just had to be careful because if they had the wrong kind of person, a hippie, they just go around stumbling until the sun came up. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Hey, Orlok, what happened to Dracula? Well, you see, Dracula had a little bit of a hippie, which resulted in him just wandering around until the sun came up, and now he's down for the week. What, you mean it got burned by his head? No, 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 no. There was some that hippie was on some heavy fucking shit.
He wasn't just dropping acid; he was dropping acid rain.
I mean, I've seen ODs, dude, but that shit was something different.
Yeah.
Here on Trim's Art Check, we discuss serious topics like how much drugs until the vampire gets high, how to get vampires high.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's a good distraction. I've seen a clip online. This dude who makes like indie cartoons, basically, called Hunter the Parenting, by this dude called Alpha Buza, Swedish. Weird, funny guy in many ways. And they are hunting for vampires. One of the main characters get bit and fed on, and suddenly the dude starts laughing. It's a good thing I'm fucked up on DMT. And then you see the vampire's eyes just dilate. Oh,
You know, I forgot how much I dislike Richmond.
really?
Yeah, there's a pseudo French restaurant called La Possum.
Oh,
Don't ask more questions, because I don't want to know this exists any more than I already have.
oh boy.
Yeah.
I'm interested in Peak though. But it's Richmond. It has French
I'll,
people there. It's.
I would rather it be like real French people, not pseudo French people. They're
They're
like
the
the
worst.
Quebecois.
Ugh. Please don't swear on my stream like that, dude.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, I want Bezic to bleep that out. You, how dare you?
Oh, poutine.
Some countries shouldn't have existed. What? Did I say that loud? Let's see.
Maybe they still don't.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Only time will tell. It's a bit of a. This is a bit of a detailed one, so we
Yeah.
won't keep to the under an hour thing here. But you know, it's fun to do a little bit of a long ones after a few short ones too.
Yeah, you know, gotta get your bleach fix in. That's what I'm claiming it being.
Yeah, you haven't been here for a while, so it's just nice getting you back here. Yes, yes. Let's see.
Yeah. But you know, I've always liked as far as vampire stories go, like the Richmond vampire, I always thought was one of the better ones. Simply because it's like there's chaos and it's not like, some weird female fantasy story,
Yeah, yeah, a weird female fantasy story that then has a fan fiction written about it that turns into this weirdest and most lamest kink movie ever.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh boy, I prefer my vampires to be a bunch of blood-hungry monsters. Just saying though, old VTM, not that current modern bullcrap, that knew how to do vampires pretty easily. Cause yeah, they were freaking vampires. They were scary and could be scary, but they were in a world where there were scarier things too.
It, well, it's just one of these. it's interesting where like legends and lore come from. As old, some of the old vampire stories are probably like corpses that were not decomposing according to everybody's predictions.
Yeah.
But it's like there are times when, like, what is there something to it?
Being on the whole, there's more between heaven and earth kind of line of thinking. I think there's something to it. You know? Maybe not
Yeah.
exactly a corpse walking around drinking your blood, but clearly there's something there. Maybe it could be sort of a, if we're gonna look at possessions, maybe.
Yeah.
That could be
Well,
uninteresting.
actually, that's where some of the old the actual lore is far more fascinating than kind of what it became post Mary Shelley. Oh no, that was Frankenstein. Whoever wrote Dracula.
Bram Stoker.
Bram Stoker, yeah.
Yeah.
If I remember right, they were all on like this little sabbatical where they challenged each other to write a story, and so Stoker and Shelley, and I think there was a third horror novel to kind of come out of that, but I can't remember. I just out of my brain, on to the next. It's like there's kind of the old ones where it's like they're disgusting creatures. I find that far more interesting.
Yeah, what I like about Bram Stoker's Dracula, though, is that he is genuinely a monster, though.
Yes. Oh, yeah, the actual book, but like all the film adaptations, he's like suave and interesting, unless it's Nosferatu with Count Orlok.
Yeah.
But
that is, I think that also is very much can be blamed on how a certain demographic likes to overly humanize the inhuman.
Women? Oh, sorry. Did I say that out loud?
Among other things. What? No, I mean, no. Terribly. How could you? Oh, dear. You agree with the guest, but can't say too loudly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, at least in modern times, or hell, my generation is probably one of the worst offenders of this. It's just not just for sexual reasons, sexual frustration basically in their case, but also how they seemingly just fetishize evil, being like, oh no, it's not evil, it's just misunderstood. It's like, dude, evil is evil. Just accept it.
Just acknowledge that bad things can be bad. No more needs to be said.
Yeah. Monsters are monsters, and that's the thing I like about best about zombies and ghouls and shit like that. They're just mindless evil that just can't be saved or helped, and even if you gave it the chance, he wouldn't even take it because there's nothing there to take said gift.
Yeah. Interesting.
Let's see. How do we do this fella right here?
I would almost think like a charcoal gray suit myself.
Yeah, I'm thinking something along those lines too. A little bit of gray here, then I'll fill it in more in the edges, hopefully.
Yeah. It's interesting because since I've been gone for the last month, seeing how your art style's kind of evolved a bit since then.
Thank you.
Yeah. There's like a little thing called like depth perspective that's starting to show up. I'm not sure how that happened.
How?
I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah, strange. Very strange.
Why are you using these strange words I've never heard before?
Will Tavarish.
Yeah, I've been working a bit on getting slightly better at things like that. It's Oh, I'm far from perfect, but slight improvements are better than nothing, I say. And
Gotta work small on, and you can't go for perfection right out of the gate.
nope, because that'll drive you freaking crazy.
Drive if you're already there.
Oh my. Crazy or
Yes.
is crazy sort of a plus minus thing that if you get enough crazy, the two minuses will align into a plus? So it undoes crazy?
I don't think it works in a mathematical sense. So
Aw.
it's more like absolute numbers being combined.
Hmm. How about we just try the gravity way? Just pile on more until it just collapses.
A Jenga tower? This is a
There you
Jenga
go.
of doom?
A Jenga of insanity. Yes. For those who understand Vampire the Masquerade references, go full Malkavian.
I'm glad that's not me.
Eh. Honestly, I wish someone would be able to do a little bit more about that. I might have to see if I can kidnap Prime again so we can do more, because the clans here are genuinely interesting, except for the, of course, modern versions of it, because they had to take a clan that is made, a faction of vampires that is dedicated only to rebel and resist any kind of authority, and turn them into modern day college students.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to get disappointed, check out Clan Brujah from 3rd edition to Clan Brujah 5th edition. Their entire
I'm good.
weakness is called triggered.
I'm good. I'm actually more than good.
All right. You sure? I can give you a full line description, sir.
Nope, nope,
Huh?
nope, nope, nope,
You
nope, nope, nope,
certain?
nope.
Come on.
Yeah, pretty certain, my friend.
Just
Pretty
take.
certain.
Come on, good sir. Take a dive with me in this repertoire.
Yeah. I'm not going to go live out someone's Lumpkin's jail fantasy.
That's a new word. What the hell?
That's a little Easter egg for anybody that wants to go looking at Google Maps of Richmond, Virginia.
Hey,
That's right.
we're making you do shit in this podcast. I say on this series. Treasure hunts galore.
Indeed.
Let's see. I'm really liking the whole these comic sketch that adds a little bit of extra shade to it.
Yeah.
So, it is a bit more extra than it has to be when I add the shades, but I do like doing that. Sort of like an itch.
Yeah. That's fair.
Let's see. One thing is also is having speed, which I've done a few where I'm able to keep under an hour, but it's also nice to just have some episodes where you can just faff about a little bit.
A little bit? You're faffing about quite a bit now that you're masquerading as a vampire.
I see what it did there. Smart ass.
Deal with it.
Good to have you back, dude. Let's
Now,
see.
I've been around. I've been square.
Yep. So, let's see. So, you've seen you've seen the movie Nosferatu, right?
The original, yes.
Yes. That was honestly that was one of the first movies I can remember watching.
You know, that's one of those movies where I think it actually really precisely encapsulate what it should be as far as like this sinister force.
Mm-hmm.
rather than some of the later Dracula movies, like Bela Lugosi is more elegant and whatnot. Well, yeah, maybe that's closer to the Bram Stoker, but I'd always prefer kind of the inhuman nature. Yeah, it's like barely human side of it.
One thing about the Nosferatu movie is that, again, one of the first movies I watched, which had a tendency of putting effect on me. That movie is one of the sole reasons to which I am afraid of the dark.
Fair.
Yeah. Because I was a kid, I watched it, panicked. Mom and Dad wondered what the hell was that noise, and then they realized I'd snuck down from my bedroom. Uh, I don't remember what they said. I just remember that one of them had this. God, it's hard to remember. I was so goddamn young at the time. But sort of a look on on one of their faces saying that, yeah, this is gonna be on for a while, isn't it? They knew that I was traumatized by it.
I mean, I'm good with you being traumatized, but that's just me.
Yeah, hey,
I'm a generous kind of guy.
what are friends for? Yay! Laugh at each other's suffering.
Laughing at yours.
I mean, I laugh at yours sometimes too. This is only fair.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Let's see. Real friends laugh at each other's suffering.
And good friends make the other one suffer. What?
Oh, that explains a lot.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. There we go. So, are there any other kind of vampire myths that have that are around the area, or is it just the one about this good fella?
That's the only one that I've ever been made aware of is W.W. Poole and the Richmond Vampire.
Right.
And which is kind of weird when you think about it, because usually you get like clusters of similar stories.
Mm-hmm.
And that is not the case with the Richmond Vampire.
Really?
There's yeah, it's really strange. I've collected books on this stuff for mythology of that part of the world for years, and that's the only vampire case I have ever heard of is the Richmond Vampire
In America.
and in well, in the East Coast,
Right.
in the Mid-Atlantic and the South. And actually, when it comes to the kind of the New England area, there's just this story, and it's really weird, because normally you get like similar kinds of stories that kind of couple together, where maybe it's a reinterpretation or something like. Nothing like that. Yeah, there are tons of witchcraft stories. There are tons of cryptid stories and other supernatural type things. But when it comes to vampires, it's just this one story that I'm aware of. It's really wild when you think about it.
Yeah. I usually tends to be very vampire stories tend to be very popular for many obvious reasons.
Yeah, and it's just it's absent in the rest of this region. I'm, I can't even think of ones in the Midwest that there's really any vampiric stories at all. Which again, you would think, because you get like the Thunderbird, which connects into the Pysaw bird, and
Yeah.
obviously Bigfoot and all that sort of thing. But you don't get a ton of vampire stories, which is wild. But outside of what is this? There's a very famous British story about a vampire that comes out of a cemetery and like picks the lead out of the sister's window, and it wish I could remember all of it. And that was oddly popular about the time that this incident happened. So, obviously in the zeitgeist. And then you had, the Penny Dreadfuls with Varney the Vampire. That was a contemporary of this incident as well, by maybe 30 years.
Really?
Yeah. And it's a famous piece of literature, kind of pulp literature. But yeah, there's so much absent for building vampiric lore in Tidewater, Virginia, which always made this story really stand out, because it's not like it's there's no continuity with everything else. And I just find it really strange that there's no connective tissue to other myths and lore.
Yeah, I mean, if I remember correctly, the origin of the vampiric lore comes from Romania?
Romania, other Balkan countries, there's some famous Croatian
I think it
stories
was
and Slovenian.
Striga or what it was. No, one of them means witch in Spanish, but there's something. I think that's Strega, but there's something Striga or something, which is the Romanian vampire, original vampire at least.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. There are a lot of things about like blood drinking undead, which is kind of the interesting thing about it. And in other myths, they are kind of. I think vampires are preferred because despite them being cursed undead, they have this semblance of their former selves there.
Yes.
It's the idea of this cursed form of immortality that a lot of people enjoy. At least some people I've talked to enjoy that.
Yeah. It's like you're doomed to continue your wicked ways forever.
Yes. But at least you get to live forever.
Okay, Longinus.
Longinus. Hey, diversity. What?
Oh, no, I can't say it. I won't say it on stream. I will not. I'm going to make a note and try to remember it later.
Good thing we're not streaming. You can say it, and if it's too bad, Bezic will just bleep it out.
I mean, when you've got Longinus, it sounds like you've got box.
I'll leave this to Bezic's discretion, but I think I know it's gonna be a little bit of a bleep there. I hope he keeps it so people can be like, what did Bleach mean by that? What does that beep mean? Regular watchers of this show might even know what the hell we're talking about.
It's like there's a white pill segment, and I went on some rant that Disco didn't cut out. And yeah, there's a note. It's like, if you really want to know what he said, go to this timestamp.
Yes. If you want a little bit of that there mystery magic, ooh. I don't even know what I'm saying half the time anymore.
Come to your world. What?
That is my world indeed. Let's see. I'm gonna cheat a little bit. Just a little bit of cheating. A little bit of cheating.
Nope, not gonna say that either.
Bleach, what are you doing, huh?
My mind is wandering places that it probably shouldn't anymore. But, yeah. I'm gonna leave that one alone.
I wish the fun was allowed.
Oh, it's allowed. It just can't be said aloud.
True. Very true. There we go. Then, let's see. Oh, white.
White?
White.
Not sure what it's doing. Oh, there we go. There, yeah, cool.
Thank you. Let's see. Now, if I've done this correctly now, I can just do this. Not that.
This. No, not this. That.
Yes, this. No, wait, not that. This. Oh,
Ah!
shoot. The wrong this. Wrong this.
Yes. Give in to your insanity.
When you go black, you never go what?
To Lumpkin's jail? What?
Let's see. Now I have to Google that when I'm done here. Damn it, please.
Oh yeah. Oh, there. I'm gonna screenshot this and send it directly to you.
Oh. Good. Very good. I hope it's good. That laughter does not mean good, but hey, I'll be patient.
I mean,
All things considered, I'm an incredibly patient person. Despite what
Are
some
you,
people
though?
despite what some people would have you believe, I'm a perfectly calm and reasonable individual.
this pause was brought to you by pregnancy.
Yeah, smart ass.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. Ah, yes. Yes. Do Google that lumpkin thingy. It's fun for the whole family, depending on what kind of family.
A divided one.
Ooh. Let's hope they fix that, huh? There's a reason I'm never going back to school.
You know. Oh, that's a cool picture. Just old, old 1860s pictures.
Yep. Well, let's see. All right. Let's see.
So you've got the little darkened tree in the corner.
Yes. It's not in the right angle compared to the image you showed me, but it's somewhat enough, I hope.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be good enough.
Yes. Doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be good enough is what people tend to say. At least if you want to be remembered as a bitch. I mean that saying has a lot of right in it though. It's don't crush yourself too much with perfection unless it's something where you have to stick your pride onto it.
Just don't stick your pride in it. That's all I ask.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
There's a time and a place for everything, and it's called not in fucking college.
True. Very true.
Yes. Let's see. So. But yeah, we spoke a little bit about blood-sucking undead. Is there any kind of creatures like that, though? In the different kind of local myths? Or out of the critters? Because if you'd be interested, we can talk about that at one of the later episodes.
You know, there are some, but I'm kind of drawing a blank. Because there's the whole chupacabra thing, but I'm just gonna say I'm not a big believer in that as portrayed usually.
Well, isn't that the thingy that goes around sucking blood from goats?
and other like livestock.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, I don't know. It's just never been in my wheelhouse to really be like, "Yeah, it's a fascinating story." It's like, yep, okay, there's something out there doing something.
It smells a bit of tacos.
Indeed. Indeed.
Let's see what. This is one thing called Red versus Blue, old web series, and they're discussing about a car. It's like, oh, what about a Mexican thing? Eats all the ghosts. Chupa thingy. Yeah, talk about that. We now introduce you to Chupa thingy. Oh. There's a lot of cool and scary myths, but then you have just things that doesn't even make sense. Like Chupacabra, okay, it eats ghosts. What else? Maybe it'll munch on a kid if it gets its claws on it. I mean, which, considering where the myth's from, isn't exactly unlikely when you think about it.
True. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I'm sitting here, it's like, man. There are things out there, but weirdly enough, there's just not a lot of like, vampiric stuff is just not that big in United States lore.
Oh,
And it's kind of a weird dichotomy when you think about it.
yeah. It is very popular in, like, European regions. You can find it in a lot of areas. Hell, it's... Hmm. Some even suggest it might be from, like, ancient India, as the Romani people brought that myth with them.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't remember what a creature is called, but it's apparently something that hangs from trees as it tries to get you.
Drop bears.
Mm, that would explain a lot, and I'm still convinced that they're real compared to all the other freaks that exist in that place we call a country. I,
Yeah.
I think the best is just trying to psy-up me.
I mean, don't you want to enjoy a nice little cuddle with a huntsman spider?
No, I don't.
Weird.
The funny thing is that those things that look like absolute monsters is not harmful. Yay. Okay. I don't believe you.
Yep.
Fuck that. It's a spider. The only spider isn't a hell spawn is probably the jumping spider, and even that one is at keep at an arm's reach. Javelin snails, Jesus Christ. Dude, you're a religious guy. You're a religious guy. You're a bit known
Yeah.
upon this kind of lore. Why Australia, dude? What was his plan with
Well,
that?
it was a punishment to be brought among humanity for its
Oh.
mandatory voting system.
God just knew what's gonna happen in Australia. I was like, yeah, I better just prepare the punishment in
Yes.
advance.
I mean, I think that's probably probably very accurate.
I mean, too bad Bessic has to suffer for it, but you know.
Eh, I mean,
Acceptable
I mean,
casualties and all that?
yeah.
Let's see. So if I do this... Oh, that should... God damn.
Yeah.
When you think you click something and you didn't click it, that makes you a bit of a clicky click. Just a little bit of dark adds a lot.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sorry, I don't really say much right now. I'm just focusing on see if I can do this one properly.
You're trying to get all the shading done.
Yeah, some things that fits the background so it doesn't stick out too much, at least. Probably gonna hear from Besic for faffing about too much, but
He can hit the fast forward if he wants while editing, you know.
Don't give him too many ideas.
Too late.
Ah, shoot. Next one, he's gonna make a Bork compilation sometime. Just wait.
Yes, please.
That's the unfortunate part about giving him the editorial power to do pretty much anything he wants. Because it's funny, most likely.
Yeah.
Let's see. Gotta give him some joys in life, you know? Living in Australia isn't easy.
I mean, if you're cuddling with spiders, it's gonna have a effect on you.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
Good enough for. Boy. Hey, do you have any spider monsters? For later references?
You know, there is a Navajo character referred to as the Spider Woman, but I don't know the mythology enough off the top of my head right now to really know.
We'll save it. We'll save it for later. But it's nice to have a little bit of plan, because honestly, this went on a little bit longer than intended. So I'm kind of like padding for time because I'm trying to figure out. So mistakes are sometimes made. Just saying.
Indeed.
Yes. Let's see. Yeah. God damn it. But yeah, I kind of enjoyed doing this. Indulging the more parts where I could just go make some details work, because it's just fun to me. Giving him a little bit more brighter eyes and all that stuff, because again, Orlok is a creature that has been with me my entire life. Just in general, vampire myths have always been interesting because scary. But Orlok, ever since he scared me the first time as a kid, he's been stuck in my head for my entire life. And from there, I guess I started developing this interest in vampires. Because, you know, out of all the kind of undead creatures there are, there's something fascinating with them, because in many cases, they seem to do it more out of choice than instinct.
Yeah.
Sure, they're given the whole vampirism thing, not often by choice, but they tend to just embrace it and like, okay, sure, I'm a vampire now, doing this, time to eat people. In many ways, I guess we can consider them politicians.
I don't know if I'd insult them like that. I mean, the undead might be one thing, but the unalive is far worse.
Oh, I mean, a soulless, blood-sucking creature that comes from the depths of hell trying to just devour your life essence for the sake of its own selfish continuation.
Vampires.
Yeah, then you have vampires. No, here's the thing that makes vampires better. They more often than not didn't choose it. There will not be a single fucking moment where I can shit on a politician and not do it, because fuck them.
Yeah.
In case you're wondering why I haven't dressed like this, well, kind of the dress code of the time period, and also now that I realize, yeah, this is probably politician. You think he went, you know, it's a little bit of theory crafting. When the vampire went hiding, and he managed to dupe the others because they thought a burn guy was the real dude, Do you think he came out as like, well, time to become a union representative or a bureaucrat?
I mean, I could see going full into, yes, I will be your shop steward for the union.
Yes. Our wages will be very nice for me.
Yeah.
You can pay me a lot of money. I'll take whatever.
But what if the money is blood?
Double up. He gets more of what he needs. Blood money is their favorite.
Ooh. Not gonna say that one.
Oh, come on.
Nope. Nope, nope, nope.
Okay, fair. Was what?
I'm trying to make sure you have YouTube friendly yeah.
Okay, fair. Oh, okay. Sometimes I wish YouTube wasn't an anti-fun. That will be a lamentation until the day I die.
Let's just say there's a liable in there.
We do like those.
Indeed.
And remember, everyone, if you hear a dog whistle, you're the dog.
What?
Down, boy. You know, with that, I will consider myself done, I think. What do you think, Mr. Monster Expert?
You know, it's like a turkey at Thanksgiving. Your little plastic poppers popped.
Yeah. Have I managed to capture the essence of the average back alley street vendor, or what, the most accurate
Merchant of
description?
Venice.
There you go. And this guy, after his stunt in the tunnel, he decided to take the journey to Australia and become a prime minister. He had a long and successful career.
I thought he went to Canada and became Mark Carney, but
You know, maybe he went around, bit a few people, made a few, you know, his bloodline can be many places at once. Well, and with that, I'm going to call it for now. I am rather happy with how it turned out. Maybe see if I can do anything with the lamb here, because that's a bit brighter than anything else. Oh, that's better. Much better.
yeah.
There we go. So, with that, I would like to thank you, Bleach, for joining me on this episode of Simply Sketchy.
It was a pleasure to return.
Yeah, a bit of a nice long one, and then after being able to record again, we will jump into another one. Maybe we'll find some other obscure creature that is full of spikes, poison, or maybe everything else. I still can't believe the Puckwudgie exists, but is a thing. But hey,
Hey, Puckwudgie believes in you.
yes, even if you don't believe in it, it's watching you, looking at you
Always.
through the window right now, and it's got an arrow just waiting for you. And speaking of thank yous, I would also like to thank Bezek for doing all the edits, listening to our spurging, and making this video somewhat watchable. And another big thank you to my good friend Robert Renato, whose music you've been hearing in the background here throughout this entire endeavor. And of course, to everyone who's taken time out of the day to watch this episode, thank you all very much for watching and or listening. If you see anything interesting here, or maybe want me to try and draw something for you, you can find my links down in the description below. I do commissions, but just be forewarned, if you want me to do some furry shit, that will cost extra. Always. And of course, another thank you to you, Bleach, for joining me. And with that, goodbye, everyone.
Later.